Oh, hey, what's up? Oh, yeah, I'm just taking out the trash. Yeah, no, it's.
Naughty.
Did Did you hear that?
Punish.
Oh my God, I'm gonna go check to see if he's okay.
Ah! Ah! Oh God, he's killing me! No! No! Punish. Naughty.
What? Oh my God. What? No, it's. Is it garbage day? Man, I totally forgot. I gotta go take care of that. Hey, Merry Christmas. Oh, and Happy New Year too. Ho ho ho! Hello everybody. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another video where today I'm looking at another movie franchise and, well, based on the festive look, you can guess that it's Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yippee, wow. So before we get into it, I just want to say that this is a crazy franchise. Yeah, I think it'll be fun, but we have to start somewhere, and that means starting with Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
Alright, so this movie is pretty good, I think. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. It's definitely an 80s horror movie slasher. I say because that essentially means that there's gonna be a little bit of gratuitous nudity and also just some real camp vibes to it, but that's okay because I enjoy that stuff quite a bit. Well, I enjoy the camp vibes quite a bit. I realize that me saying that makes it sound like I love gratuitous nudity. So this movie follows a lad named Billy Chapman. His last name is Chapman. The movie opens when he's a wee little boy. He's in the car with his parents on Christmas Eve. Billy gets told by his catatonic grandfather that a Santa Claus is a little bit evil and punishes naughty children. And then lo and behold, on the drive to wherever they live, an evil man, a killer dressed as Santa Claus, goads them into pulling over, and then he shoots the father. They crash the car. Billy's little brother Ricky, who is an infant at this point, is just in the back of the car or something. Billy escapes, he runs, he hides, but he watches as this killer Santa rips off his mother's shirt and then kills her. It's looking real good for Billy Boy, Bilbo. And ultimately this ends up with Billy and Ricky getting sent to an orphanage, which is run by nuns. And then we just kind of get a quick progression, not that quick, but sort of quick progression of Billy's life at this orphanage. We see that he has trauma of what happened on Christmas Eve that night, and that he does not like Christmas or the Santa in general. He keeps getting punished by one of the nuns, the head nun, Mother Superior, and she keeps telling him that he's naughty and that he needs to be punished, which falls in line with the whole Santa Claus thing that his grandfather told him. He gets more trauma there. And then he's a grown man, like 17 or 18. One of the nuns helps find him a job at some toy store, and at that toy store they make him be Santa Claus for one night, and this causes a psychotic break in Billy, where Billy then goes on a bit of a rampage, punishing and killing people. That's the general plot. Honestly, there isn't much more depth I need to get into. That's just kind of what is there and what happens, so enjoy it. Honestly, honestly, I think it's pretty fun. There's some shockingly good acting at times and some really just funny, goofy characters here and there. I think it's fun. It does get really corny once Billy has this little psychotic break, though, because pretty much the only two words that he says from this point on are punish and naughty. And he says them in kind of a not gravitas way. He's just like, punish, naughty, like he's not even really yelling them, he's just kind of saying them. And I also think that this movie has surprisingly good kills, in fact some that are like pretty iconic. I don't know if they've made like a deep cultural impact in terms of horror, but they've made some impact in terms of horror. They're, I think probably the most famous and iconic kill is the taxidermy like deer antler kill, where he lifts the woman and pushes her through the antlers. And genuinely, this is a great kill. Like, it's not shot super gory. A lot of it is also kind of in shadow, which works for me. But I think that this is a really cool kill and it's very original and I like it a lot. There's another one where some guy is just sledding down a hill and we see far too much of these people. Billy jumps out with his axe and decapitates the bully, because he's a bully, as he's sledding down the hill. And at the bottom of the hill we see his body's still sledding down and then the head rolls down afterwards. It's pretty damn good. I think it's great. And then there's another kill where Billy somehow gains inhuman strength. He strangles a guy and he lifts him with one arm easily. This is a grown man he's choking and lifting above the ground, not up against a wall or anything, just lifting. And he chokes and kills this guy. What? Damn, Billy. Didn't know you had that strength, brother. And then even the less interesting kills are still pretty good in terms of effects. Like, there's some drunk guy that gets a hammer to the head and we don't really see it happen. We see like a blood spray, but then we see the aftermath and it still looks pretty good. So if kills are your thing, especially in a slasher movie, I think that there are some good ones in this one. But then at the end of the movie, Billy dies. He's basically going to the orphanage in order to take out Mother Superior because he has a bone to pick with her. What happens is some poor man, I think in a future movie they say that it was a janitor. I don't think that it was originally a janitor. I could be wrong, but he's dressed as Santa. He's going to the orphanage as is tradition for them. The cops are told about this, so a cop shows up and shoots and kills this poor man who couldn't hear him because he's deaf. All of the kids watch as this poor Santa Claus, innocent man, is shot and killed in front of them. And then later on, when Billy actually shows up and he gets into the orphanage and is about to attack Mother Superior, he then gets shot and killed by the police. So now these poor orphans have watched two Santa Clauses be shot and killed in front of them. And I think that's obviously really dark, but I think it's hilarious in that regard, because what the fuck? But yeah, as you can imagine, they have to set up a sequel somehow. So Billy's younger brother Ricky is there and he sees this, and the end of the movie is him saying naughty in a real kid-like way because he's a child. Speaking of Ricky, I think it's time we get to the next movie.
The terror's coming home, and he's all grown up. Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2.
I've got a present for you!
Alright, and now we have Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2 from 1987. This is a really bad movie, but sometimes in a really fun and funny way. But it's unfortunate because it takes really fucking long to get there. So if you're watching these movies and you've seen the first one, here's what you do. You skip the first 45 to 50 minutes of this movie because it's literally just showing the old movie, the first one. It's cut down a little bit, but like frankly not that much, with just occasional little lines from Ricky. It couldn't even get its own script to be feature length. They fucking have to reuse the original movie for like half of its runtime, maybe a little bit more. And I know that this movie had like zero budget basically, but genuinely you do have to skip like most of this movie in order to enjoy it. But also, ironically, I think that this movie is probably the best known of all of these movies, even though it's complete dog shit. This movie has a man named Eric Freeman playing Ricky, and listen, he does not do a great job in terms of acting, but it makes for very, very fun watch, and it is also very iconic and what makes this movie memorable, and part of the reason why this is kind of the most well-known movie in the franchise. And just to be clear, I'm not shitting on Eric Freeman. Like I said, this movie would not have been what it is had he not done what he did. I was so in love with his performance that I had to like look up to see who he was, and I read like a whole interview that he did, and he just seems like a really sweet guy. And even he's like, I don't understand why people like me in this movie. I think I did a really bad job, but I'm glad that people like it and people appreciate me for doing it. And yeah, he just seems like a really sweet guy. So I don't know, I think it's fun. And also, he is a fucking Hulk of a man in this movie. God damn, is he massive. Like, holy crap, dude. But yes, I think that the reason this movie kind of stands out is because of Garbage Day. Editor Ryan, roll the clip.
Garbage Day! Huh? No!
And the thing is, of course, this line is perfect. It is probably the most well-known thing about this franchise. However, I think it's important to note that this entire scene, because people tend to only see the snippet of the Garbage Day part, but this entire segment is just really fucking good. In fact, it has an insane car stunt, and there's a stuntman standing there. He's playing Ricky, and he shoots the car, and the car like side flips over a thing, and it comes so close to hitting this stuntman. I have a hard time believing that man didn't shit himself that day. But then the car fucking explodes also, so it's a crazy scene. And it's ridiculous, but I love it, and it's so very good in my opinion, the entire segment. But the general gist is that Ricky has been captured because this Garbage Day stunt is what ends up putting him in jail, and then he's in jail at the beginning of the movie, and the entire recap of the original is him basically getting interviewed. All of this happens, then the last 10 minutes of the movie are him getting free, and what he does is the last 10 minutes of the movie, I'm not joking, it's like only 10 minutes, are him finally being free on like Christmas Eve, dressed as Santa Claus. So we only get 10 minutes in this Silent Night, Deadly Night movie with a killer Santa. So when you get to the stuff that is actually original Ricky stuff, that isn't him in the prison reminiscing on the past and having visions somehow of stuff that he was not there to witness, or he was, but he was an infant so he wouldn't be able to remember it, then it's actually a really fun movie in a very stupid way. But there are also a couple of good kills in this one. Surprisingly, the effects are really great. There's one where he stabs a guy with an umbrella, it goes all the way through him, and then the umbrella opens on the other end of the man, and it's very good. And then there's another one where he basically attaches jumper cables to a guy's mouth, and then his eyes explode, and it looks really good. But it's time to talk about the next movie.
Did you watch many violent films and much television growing up?
Not really. We were too busy getting beaten.
Were you subjected to visual violence?
Yeah, when we were getting beaten.
All right, and now we have Ricky Today from 2018. Now, usually I go in chronological release date order of these movies. However, this isn't a movie. It's just a short 8-minute like film that Eric Freeman did where he's once again getting interviewed. Basically, the entire thing is just him getting interviewed, and he reprises the role of Ricky, and he's an older man now, but basically it's him reminiscing on the past. cast, and I don't have much to say about it, but it's free to watch on YouTube, and I think you should go support it and check it out. Personally, I just really think it's cool when people have a passion for what they've done and the characters they've portrayed, and I think that is really cool, and it was nice to see. So go check it out. Real short one, but next movie.
She wants to penetrate his mind, see what he sees.
He was a little boy, and then something happened.
All right, and now we have Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out from 1989. This is when they start doing weird little subtitles to the movies, and it's a little goofy. This one, I think, is just pretty boring, but it shouldn't be, because the plot is that there's a blind girl named Laura, I think, and she's the main character. She's the protagonist. She has psychic abilities, and they are doing tests, experiments with her in the hospital. She has granted them permission to do this, though. And this doctor is basically trying to see if she can have a psychic link with coma patients and regain their memories or something. Turns out Ricky survived, because at the end of part 2, he kills Mother Superior and then gets shot several times, but the movie ends with him opening his eyes. But basically, Ricky is comatose in this one, so Laura has a psychic connection with him. So we have a blind girl, psychic connection to Ricky Garbage Day Chapman. Oh yeah, his name is Campbell. Sorry, I forgot they changed his name. He's basically a Frankenstein's monster-esque Ricky in this one. He has his whole brain exposed in this weird glass dome thing that occasionally has blood just floating around in it. You really shouldn't be boring. How do you not make that entertaining? Ricky wakes up from his coma and he wants to go see Laura for some reason. Because she keeps seeing him, he can also see her. So he goes to their grandmother's house, which is where she's going. Her parents are dead. That doesn't matter though. And she has a brother, and the brother has a girlfriend. So the three of them are going to the grandmother's house. Ricky gets there first. He kills the grandmother. And then a lot of the movie is just kind of them hanging out in grandma's house, sans grandma. Nothing really happens, to be honest. Ricky eventually does start killing people here again. The movie ends, Ricky dies. Like I said, there really isn't much going on here. It's not that interesting. A couple of quick points. I don't really care for any of the characters, not even Laura. I just don't care about them much. So I don't get that invested in this movie. And the other thing I don't really appreciate about it is the characters aren't great, but also Ricky isn't great, because you go from Ricky being this very bombastic, very fun character to just being like a Laura, no emoting allowed, and it's just kind of lame. The kills are pretty boring and lame. Most of them are off screen. There isn't a lot of interesting stuff going on. I will give a tip of the fedora to the special effects department though, because Ricky's brain glass dome thing looks really cool. So good job. Laura's grandma just randomly has a large framed picture of Martin Luther King Jr. in her house. And obviously there's nothing wrong with that, but I do find it kind of funny because it's just very random. There's a detective, not important at all, but I find it very funny because at one point he goes, "Let's just hope we're not too late," after they figure out where to go. And then on this drive, mid-drive, he decides to take a little piss break, stop the car in the middle of the fucking road, and then go take a piss. And this is only for plot purposes, but I digress. It's very stupid. And next movie.
Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, Initiation.
You're one of us now.
Join the club.
All right, and now we have Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, Initiation from 1990. So this one is not really a Christmas movie anymore. We don't have a killer Santa or anything. It technically takes place on like Christmas time era, but not really. There genuinely is not much to hint at that. It's one of those like Die Hard moments where Die Hard has more Christmas than this movie has Christmas. So there's that. But I'm not going to fault it really, because this was not originally going to be a script for a Silent Night, Deadly Night movie, but then it ended up being one. And frankly, I actually kind of like this movie. I think it's entertaining. It's effects work by Screaming Mad George, who is insane. It's a Brian Usna film, which is also insane. So those things combined really help make this a fun watch. The weird thing about it is that this is the Bug installment. It's a bug movie. It's a witch bug movie. Lesbian undertone, but also not lesbian, unless it is lesbian and just incest lesbian. So ultimately, I'm gonna say that the plot is fairly convoluted in this one, but the general rundown is that there's this reporter lady. I'm really bad with names, so I don't remember her name, and she wants to do a story on this woman who fell off a building with the bottom half of her body just completely burned, but because it's a man's world that we live in, she doesn't really get that opportunity, so she does it on her own, which, by the way, fuck men. But this basically ends up in her getting recruited, I guess, by this coven of witches that are here, and we're kind of the cause of the lady that died and burned. It's this whole weird plot where this coven of witches is recruiting her to be the main witch's daughter because her daughter died, so they're trying to bring her back. But supposedly this witch's daughter is Lilith, I think from the Bible, but these witches are also bug witches for some reason. There's not an explanation for this, but bugs are here galore. And I guess their magic ends up being a bug thing where you eat bugs and bugs eat you and expel your old soul or something. I couldn't explain it because I don't fucking understand any of it, but the bug effects are really fucking good. Yeah, I mean, you got giant bugs, goopy stuff all over the place. I love it. If you don't like bugs, absolutely don't watch this movie, but personally, I think it's done really well and I really enjoyed it. And then the movie ends with the reporter lady supposedly having to kill a little boy, and this little boy is her kind of sort of boyfriend's little brother. So she kidnaps the brother or else she's gonna die. And then despite kidnapping the little boy, she decides that it's gone too far and she doesn't want to kill him. She instead kills the head witch, and then I guess that allows her to not die and burn up like the other girl. But also Clint Howard is here, and I fucking love Clint Howard. Any movie, any role with Clint Howard gets a thumbs up from me. I think that's all I have to say. Not really a Silent Night, Deadly Night movie, but if you just accept it for what it is, I think it's a fun one. So yeah, next movie.
I want my boy! What have you done with him? I'm your son now, not him!
Alright, and now we have Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker from 1991. So we finally are back to Christmas, so yay! Hooray! That's good. But basically this one is interesting because it's the Mommy Kink Pinocchio one. I'm being so serious right now. I love me a crazy movie that's ridiculous and stupid and a little bit silly too. Yeah. But basically the idea of this movie is that there is a person leaving rigged toys about that is killing children and people, and the movie follows this little boy and his mother. The little boy watches one of these toys kill his father, so he's traumatized and doesn't speak anymore. And then there's a whole kind of plot that meanders about for a while where they try and make you figure out who the heck is doing things. There's one guy who's just kind of fishy and hanging out, and then there's a toy maker and his son Pino, and also the toy maker's name is Joe Petto. So it's Geppetto and Pinocchio basically is what it is. I could get into the details of this weird in-between part of the movie, but there's no point because whatever. Basically, the weird man ends up being the actual father of the boy, and he's here because he wants to be a part of the mother's life and the boy's life. So cool. Turns out the toy maker, he was a man who back in the day lost his wife, who was pregnant aunt. I guess that sent him in a weird spiral, and then he killed kids with his toys. And he created his own boy in the form of Pino, and then Pino kills his father, and Pino is the one that is after and sending these toys to kill people, and wants to kill the boy because he wants the mother because he has a mommy kink.
You don't need Derek! I can be your son now!
He loves his mommy.
I love you, Mommy! I love you! I love you!
In a very in a way, it's very ridiculous, very stupid movie that I love a lot. Crazy, stupid movies like this are my bread and butter. I just get a lot of joy watching them. Also, I'll say that the effects, though, are pretty cool because a lot of these toys have to come to life in some way and cause some sort of bodily harm. So there's genuinely a lot of fun toy shenanigans here. And I really, really like how Pino looks at the end of the movie when he is revealed to be a doll. And also I like his performance and I like the actor, so yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And then to close it out, I'll say that we do actually finally get a killer evil Santa in this one, because Pino, disguised as the father, dresses as Santa. So anyway, next movie.
This fella dressed as Santa. He said about killing them that was naughty.
All right, and now we have Silent Night from 2012. Oh, goody. It's a 2010s reboot. Nothing could go wrong. So I'm just gonna get it out of the way and say that I don't like this movie. I think it's pretty damn bad, and I didn't really enjoy it at all. I don't think any of the characters are likable. I think the main deputy lady, I think her name is like Bradamore or something like that. I think she's fine, but nothing about this movie leads me to actually care about the characters in any capacity. Most of them just end up being straight up unlikable in some way, and then the ones that are fine, I just don't care about at all. In fact, I think the character I care the most for is maybe the, I don't know, she's kind of in charge of the police station receiving calls and stuff like that. I like her just because she's kind of like a innocent, kind person in this movie, so I appreciate her a little bit. This is also a very bad looking, ugly movie, in my opinion. It does a lot of weird stuff where it'll have these like diagonal framed shots. They don't actually do anything, and I think it's stupid. But then also, any fucking light source becomes a horizontal streak of light that covers the entire frame because of whatever fuck ass lens they use. It's genuinely really annoying, really stupid, and really ugly. And then the plot is also bad. Basically, the deputy woman Bradamore, there's a sheriff as well, there's a killer, well, it's a killer Santa, and basically they're trying to track him down because he's just a serial killer, and there's supposed to be this mystery behind who's behind the mask. The mystery is stupid. The mystery is stupid. None of it fucking matters because it's a guy that we never have met before, and the reveal is that it's a character we don't see until the last 5 minutes of the movie, until all of the events of the movie happen and we are shown a flashback. Basically, back in the day, there was a killer that dressed up as Santa, and he went on a little bit of a rampage, and Bradamore's father was a police officer at the time, and he is the one that took down this man who was on a rampage. And then in this flashback, at the very end of the movie, this is the last thing we see in the movie, we are shown that this man had a son who watched his father get killed from a truck. The killer Santa is this son who is now grown up. This literally has no plot relevance. It does not have any importance to any of the movie. If they thought this was good, wow, you need to learn how to write a better script. Holy shit. Yeah, I guess it's technically like a revenge thing because this man kills Bradimore's father, but also just a bunch of other people that were, I guess, maybe technically involved, but not really. So again, no plot relevance or importance. And then there are two separate red herring characters that also serve no purpose really. So what the fuck was the point of any of this movie? Is what I have to say about it. The climax of the movie also looks really bad. Basically, Killer Santa shows up to the darn police station. He cuts the power and then backup generators or something turn on lights, and it's really bad looking red and green dark post enhanced shit slop, and there's like a little tangle that goes on here, and it also looks really bad because it's just abhorrent shaky cam with really fast cuts everywhere. I don't get like sick from watching anything or motion sickness at all, but this kind of actually made me like start to feel a little bit like but then I think that the kills are also pretty bad and uninspired. This movie does up the violence from the other movies, but that doesn't really do much. They also do a callback where they do the eye explosion electrocution kill from part 2, but it doesn't look as good. And then they also do the taxidermy kill. This one, honestly, it looks fine. I will say the one kill that stands out to me, Santa uses an axe and splits a guy's head in half. That genuinely very good gore, very good work. Good job with that one kill. Yeah, I think I'm done with this movie because I don't like it. So it's time to rank them. All right, everybody, it's time to rank these movies. I can very much understand why people would have a lot of different opinions on this franchise, so just bear with me. This is my opinion. This is how I personally rank them. In last place, aka 6th or 7th, if you include the short film that I talked about, we have Silent Night. I just don't think it's good at all. It's one of those 2010s remakes that usually ends up being not great, and I think that's especially correct for this movie. In fact, it kind of made me angry at points. So I was really excited for when it ended, and that's a good sign of a movie that I don't like at all. So last place. And then in 6th place, we have Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that this is just the most boring movie out of all of them. I don't really get invested in any of the characters or any of the plot or story. I don't like that Ricky just becomes this very boring zombie-like character because that's not Ricky. That should never be Ricky. That's just where I put it. And then in 5th place, we have Ricky Today. I don't really like ranking short films alongside feature-length films because it's hard to compare them. This is basically just a little addendum to part 2 for me, so it goes here because my next one in 4th place is Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Yeah, I think Part 2 is obviously a bad movie, but again, if you have to watch the entire movie, which I make myself do for these reviews, just the entire first half of it being reusing the original movie, it really fucking sucks, man, and I don't want to rewatch it. I literally just fucking watched it because I'm binging the franchise, so it's just really boring. But once we get to the good stuff, oh my god, is it so bad in the best way possible. And then in 3rd place, we have Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, the bug one. This doesn't really feel like a Silent Night, Deadly Night movie. It's the one that least feels like that and least feels like a Christmas horror. I don't love this one for that reason, but I do think that it is a very weird movie that has just random crazy stuff going on that makes it fun for me, and I love the effects work. It's top notch, top tier, so yeah, 3rd place. And then in 2nd place, we have Silent Night, Deadly Night 5. I'm gonna be honest with you, I could change my mind on this and Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original, being in 1st and 2nd. I think they're both very campy. I think that that I just appreciate the first one a little bit more, because while it is more generic in a way, I think that the kind of vibes are better. I do think that the midpoint of part 5 is just, it's not as interesting, not as compelling. What really draws me to part 5 is just the shenanigans of the toys coming to life and Pino being a weird fucking mommy kink guy. I really love both of these movies, but part 5 is going to be my second place pick officially on the record. And then my first place is the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. I really like Billy in this movie. I think that despite the pacing being a little weird, I do appreciate this one a lot. I find it a fun camp movie. So that's my ranking of the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise. Hey, in case you didn't know, because I don't think they've really advertised it like at all very well, there is a new one coming out. Silent Night, Deadly Night is what it's going to be called, and it's coming out like the 12th or something of December. So I'm curious to see what they do with that, and let me know what your thoughts are on the franchise down below. What are your favorites? What are your least favorites? What are some other Christmas movies, horror movies specifically, I should check out? Yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful time. I hope the holidays are treating you well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!